So all that being said, let's get into these components, or these the essential components of a really good comprehensive exercise routine. So the first one I mentioned is strength training. This is really, I think it's kind of king when it comes to exercise. I think there may be still a lot of lingering myths around weightlifting and strength training, particularly among women. I mean, I know when I first started off, I was kind of leery of it because I didn't want to get bulky. I thought that, like, if you lifted weights, you were going to look really bulky and more masculine and stuff like that, and that wasn't my goal. But of course, that's not the case. So you want to have something like lifting weights or some form of strength training. There's a number of different types and approaches you can follow. Weightlifting is one of them, of course. Body weight workouts are another great option. You can do that at home, and that can be things like push-ups and pull-ups and squats, and a variety of other exercises that are just using your body weight. Functional training is another great example. And then, of course, there's many, many others, and you can look up the different kinds of strength training and see, what might work for you. Because everyone has their preferences. Everyone has things that, they're not so crazy about doing, they might not be fond of. So find something that you think would be enjoyable for you or that would work for you. And then there's lots of video programs you can find as well. You can find a lot of great stuff on YouTube. I continue to try to build to my library. I have a lot of little short videos with form and things like that. And I'm actually going to be doing a workout pretty soon here for this free 5-day fitness challenge, back to school 5-day fitness challenge I'm doing in my Facebook group. So that'll be available, and you can check that out if you're looking for something to kind of help you get started. But there's a lot of different stuff out there that you can find for free online, or you can find apps, different programs and portals that are, really affordable for like a monthly fee if you want to do that. And they have tons of workouts, that including strength training workouts, that can help you if you're, just starting out and you want to work out at home, or even if you're just, not really sure where to begin and you need some kind of structure to start from. So those are all great resources. But the point being, with regard to strength training, weightlifting, if you want to transform your body, it's really important to include some kind of strength training component to your exercise routine. There's so many benefits to it. I've done episodes in the past talking about the benefits of exercise, particularly strength training. If you want to go check those out, I've gone more in depth about that, so I'm not going to repeat all of it here today. But there's lots of different options and lots of benefits. Ideally, you want to work every major muscle group every week. So you want to find different ways to rotate that out. And there's all kinds of different options for schedules that you can follow. So for example, let's say you want to do like a 3-day schedule for strength training every week. Then you can create a full body workout where you're working every muscle group or every major muscle group through some sort of a full body circuit or something like that. You can do that 3 times a week. And you can alternate some form of cardio on your non-strength training days or something like that. But then there's a number of varieties of schedules you can follow if you want to do more. Like if you want to have more of like a focused leg workout or upper body workouts or things like that. So there's all kinds of splits, they're called. So 4-day splits, 5-day split, 6-day split. And again, you can find a number of schedules and even workout routines online and such. And there's a lot of books too. I have tons of books, different, about weightlifting, strength training, creating your workouts, like, if you're, beginner, what your workout would look like versus, if you're more intermediate and so on. So that's strength training. The second component is cardio. And there's a number of different types of cardio, and it's really going to be driven by a couple of different things. Well, probably actually several different factors. One of them is how much weight you have to lose. Another one is the amount of, or not the amount of weight, but the body type. Like, so if you have a body type like me, where it's generally more difficult for you to lose weight and you tend to gain weight really easily, then you might want to have a different cardio approach than somebody who, say, has a harder time putting weight on. or gaining weight, somebody who kind of naturally maintains a leaner body, and they might want to gain weight and they have a hard time gaining weight. But the cardio for that person is going to look different than someone who, if your body type is like where I just described, it's harder for you to lose weight. That's another factor. Age is another factor. Those are some of the bigger ones. Yeah. And then time as well, right? So how much time you have, how much time you want to spend. Some people totally hate cardio, other people really like it. So finding something that kind of, helps you hit those essential components you need to get the benefits of it, but also factors in your preferences, your goals, and all of that, right? So what I will say, having learned this the hard way, okay, so I have personal experience with everything I'm talking about today and in all my other episodes. Being that I have a body type, it's often referred to as the endomorph body type, where it's harder for me to lose weight. I can put weight on pretty easily as well. So with that body type, having a little bit more to lose than somebody who might be, I think the other, like one of the other ones I think is ectomorph and mesomorph are the other two main ones. One of them is more like, they have a higher metabolism. They tend to keep a leaner body without a lot of effort. They have a harder time putting on weight, right? So I was following something that I think was designed for more of that other category where, like people that maybe have a harder time putting weight on. So the whole thing was, do less cardio. The cardio is not, it's not helping you. That's what's causing the problem, blah, blah. Focus on the weightlifting. And I was very hesitant about that because I had been doing a combination of both for so long at the time that I came across this program. Long story short, it backfired. I followed it for about 8 months and it did not work out at all for me. And I ended up having to work really hard to get back to kind of where I was at before. So point being, if you have, I would say a good kind of general rule of thumb, and this is very general because it's hard to, there's not really a one size fits all answer. But if you tend to have about 20 pounds or more to lose, you need to include cardio. I would highly recommend, highly advise against, strongly advise against listening to something that says you should not be doing cardio because you have more weight to lose and you're going to need it to help you get the excess weight off. If you're in more of the 15 or 20 pounds or less to lose, then that type of approach might work well for you and you might have benefit from that, and it would be a good approach to consider following. Again, I'm just sharing what I've learned the hard way when it comes to that. So all that said, there's different approaches to cardio. There's steady state, which is a little bit longer duration usually. So this is something you're doing for about 30 to 60 minutes. And you want to be doing your cardio at about 60% of your maximum heart rate. So you don't want to be like way up high on your heart rate the whole entire time. You want to be at more of a, where you can still carry a conversation is kind of a good general rule of thumb to follow if you don't have other means of determining whether you're at 60% of your maximum heart rate. If you do have like a smartwatch or a Fitbit or something like that, then basically you want to stay in the heart rate that would indicate you're in the fat burning zone as opposed to the cardio heart rate. Usually those watches will have two different, indicators for those. So that's one example with the steady state cardio. Another example is something like high intensity interval training.